So we'll study how to. So good morning to all of you. Today we'll go for the practical sessions regarding to the cloud. So in that, how to create the database on a Amazon cloud that we will study. So first of all, I have logged into my AWS console. Then in that console, there is Amazon RDS. So click on Amazon RDS. So relational database service. Then click on create database. So here I'll click on create database. So in this there are two types. Choose the database creation method. First one is standard create and second one is a easy create. So in standard create you set all the configuration option including ones for availability, security, backups and maintenance. But in easy creation used to recommend best practice configuration. Some config options can be changed after the database is created. So we'll go for easy create. Then these are the 6 types of databases supported by the Amazon cloud. First one is Amazon Aurora, second one is MySQL, third one is MariaDB, fourth one is PostgreSQL, fifth one is Oracle, and last one is the Microsoft SQL Server. So we'll go for MySQL Server or MySQL. Then there are 3 types of instance, database instance. So first one is a, before that we'll go for standard. What is there in a standard create? So in standard create, engine options are Amazon, Maria, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL. So we have selected Microsoft MySQL. Then version, there are different versions. So we have selected MySQL. By default it is 8.0.28. Then templates. So choose a sample template to meet your case. So here production is there, dev test is there, and free tier is there. So production use default for high availability and fast and consistent performance. Second one is dev test. This instance is intended to develop use outside of the production environment. And third one is a free tier. So use free tier to develop new application, test existing application, or gain hands-on experience with Amazon RDS. Then setting in that DB instance identifier. So it is type of name to your database. So already suppose I written database 2. Then credential setting. So here is what? Master username. So username by default it is admin. Then master password. So master password. This is the master password. So again, confirm your master password. So this will be your master password. Then instance type. So there are standard class, memory optimized class, and burstable class. So we are in this, there are different. So we have taken T2 micro, T3 micro. Then storage type. So in this there are provisional IOPS, SSD, magnetic, and general purpose SSD, GP2. So we will select GP2. Allocation storage is 20 GB. Then storage auto scaling provides dynamic scaling support to your database storage based on your application need. So we disable the auto scaling. Availability and durability. So create the standby instance. Do not create the standby instance. So in this one means in free tier and it is disable. Then we will create public access. Yes. Before that, just a minute. Availability and durability. Then connectivity. So we are using VP6, IPv4 for connectivity, networking. Then virtual private cloud, that is a VPC. By default, we have selected the default VPC. Then subnet, it is again default. Then public access, we have selected yes. Then VPC security group. So choose existing or you can create a new group. Now if new group, my first SQL. Okay, so this is a VPC group name. Availability zone. So we'll go for AP South 1A. Then database authentication. In that there are three types: password authentication, password and IAM database authentication, and password and Kerberos authentication. So we'll go only for password authentication. Now in this additional information is there. So in this database option, encryption turn on, backup turn on. So what database option? So initial database name. Suppose I return SMDCOE ID as my first database, initial database name. Then group, it will be in MySQL 8.0 by default. Option group, default MySQL 8.08. So this is my database name. Then enable automated backups. So it will disable it. Then encryption, disable it. Monitoring, it will charge. So monitoring, we have disable. Then version, enable auto minor version, disable. Then maintenance window, no preference. Then deletion protection, enable deletion protection, means it will protect your database if you delete it accidentally. So we are again disable, we have to delete the database. So in this way, we have created a database. Create database. So database will be created. So here is a database identifier, that is the database 2. Then role instance engine, we have selected MySQL community. Then the availability zone, AP South, Mumbai region 1A. Then the size we have selected as a database T3 micro. Now the status is creating. Okay, the database is not created, it is in a creating, so it will take few minutes. Then CPU, then current activity, maintenance, then VPC we have selected, and we have selected no for multi availability zone. So here now the database is creating. Now we have to go for required your SQL Electron. So SQL will download the SQL Electrons for the query file. So here we are going for the terminal across database and platform support. So here I have already downloaded and installed. So here first database is there. So we'll go for new window. I already installed the SQL Electron. Now it is starting the SQL Electron. So here, this is my first SQL database. Now we'll go for the new one. So here I will add. Before that, we'll see whether our database has started or not. So it is again in the creating state. So I will refresh it. When it will be start, so it will be in this one created. It is in creating state now. So here a server information, so name and database type you have to select, then server address. So it will get the endpoint address you have to specify. By default, the port will be there. Then we have to set the username and password, which we have given in a AWS console for the database. So we'll see whether it has started. Now it is in the creating state. We'll again refresh it. So database is not created. So endpoint and port is not enabled. So when the database will be created, it will show here endpoint by which we can connect to SQL Electrons. Then VPC. So my SQL, first SQL is the name of my VPC, and we will see the port. So inbound and outbound rules for that VPC. So inbound rules. So here we have specified the inbound rules for type is version, IP version, and type is MySQL. And here the port number or port range is by default it is 3306. So already it is 3306. Now we'll go whether database is started or not, created or not. Then if the database is created, it is available now. So here creating, now it is in a available state. So your database is created. Now we will connect to, here we have specified the endpoint. So this will be the endpoint. Copy this endpoint. Then go to your SQL Electron. Just a minute. So here name, write down the name, my first SQL database. Then select the type. So it is a MySQL. Paste your address here, endpoint address. So default port is, or port number for MySQL is 3306. Then username admin and the password. And then test. So it will specify connection test successfully connected. So your database is connected. Then save. Now this is my first SQL database. So we'll connect to that SQL database. So here we have got the database. Now here we can create the or fire the query. So we have already created the database. The database name was SND COE So in this we can create the table using different SQL queries. So here refresh the database, and here we can create the table in this database. Suppose create table SNDIT where ID integer, then name varchar, size, then close. So then execute. Just a minute. Create the database, then execute this query. So we'll see table, refresh your database table. So here we have created the table SNDIT. Then we can do different types of operation or perform different types of queries on this table. So this is how we'll use RDS in the Amazon cloud. Okay, then now as it is chargeable, we can stop. So what we'll do, we'll go to the database and click on database and do the action stop, reboot, or delete. So we can delete the database, we can stop the database. So you want to delete the database, so click on delete. Then so here do not create the final snapshot. So you can create the snapshot of your database. Then click on I acknowledge that above. Upon instant deletion, automated backups, including system snapshot or the point in time recovery, will no longer available. Then click on delete me or type delete me. So copy and paste delete me and delete my database. So it will not charge any cost for this database. So here it will delete. So it will go in a deleting state. And in this way, we have clean up the database. So we'll stop here and say next practical how to create the binge tag. Okay.